my leadership, I've definitely changed from what I was when I first started. I've realised you've got to impose yourself on the ground and really be a presence out there. So, yeah, it's something that I think you constantly evolve, you get better at. No leader is perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, and you know, I'm still learning as I'm going along. It's a lot harder and a lot more all-encompassing than I probably thought it was when I first took over. You think you just flip a coin and you know, chat to the boys as you're about to break out into the game, but you know, there's so much more. It's a privilege to be able to do it at my age and to do it in such a great club, and you know, it's a skill that I'll be able to take wherever I go after footy. I'll be able to use in my business life post footy, so I'm really grateful for the experience.
Andrew Swallow talking about leadership, and it was an interesting couple of shots through the reeds there. Have you seen Between Two Ferns with Zach Galifianakis?
I don't think I have, no.
It's not on SBS, it's on YouTube. It's quite good fun. Tell us the Achilles. Round 18 last year was when it happened. The build-up and the layoff was long. How's it feeling? The form is starting to come back to you in a big way.
Yeah, the form, I feel like, starting to get back to where I was. I didn't start running till probably February, March, so it took a long time to actually get back there. Probably shows that we don't need to do as much of pre-season, or that's what I'm taking away from the experience as what they tell us. But yeah, it's slowly building. I feel like I'm getting a bit of speed, and you know, that repeat sort of speed is probably the thing that is the last to come back now.
I've had some issues with my Achilles as well, or the plantaris that sits next to the Achilles. But do you keep in contact? I believe you spoke to Ruffy and Van Berlo from over the Crows. Do you keep in touch with them? Just the Achilles crew? Do you?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a club going. Every now and then I catch up with Ruffy, but probably still speak to Van Berlo a bit. You know, I played a bit of footy growing up with him in Perth, and you know, now hopefully can help him transition back, and I think he's pushing to try and play at the end of the year. So hopefully he can get back.
Mate, you're so important for the Kangas. Another guy, Daniel Wells, where's he at with his rehab?
Yeah, he's really started to, the last couple of weeks, I think he's really stepped up his program. As you can see, there's back running now. He's moving around pretty well, and I think he's mentally he's getting his head around where he's at, and we're really hopeful we can get him back for a big push to the end of the year.
Andrew, apparently Cameron Ling's a hot property at the moment to become a coach. I read that somewhere the last couple of weeks.
Every day.
There he is there in the North Melbourne jacket. Must have got the colours wrong when he put that one on. But what's he like? I mean, I know him as a teammate. You work with him closely as a leadership consultant at North Melbourne. So what is he like? What are his prospects like as coach?
Oh, I think he'd be a wonderful coach. He's really consistent in the way he goes about it. There's no easy, quick fixes. It's just about the consistency, making sure that you go in there, you're working at it, and you're really hard and strong on what you believe. So I think from that point of view, he'd be a wonderful coach.
I know the Kangaroos are keen to have him as a full-time assistant. He's had an unbelievable amount of offers. We've now narrowed the teams that he is speaking to down to this 9. We've discarded 30. And what we understand, John Tomic and he met last week for coffee. So did he and the Jamaican bobsled team. I understand that the Yarrawonga Pigeons right now have got themselves as hot favourites. But in regard to the decision itself, as with LeBron, the decision will be broadcast on all 3 of our channels. Check your local guides. There'll be a 7-hour sort of build-up, and then at the end of it, I'm sure Cameron Ling will say something similar to LeBron, and I'm taking my talents to the Yarrawonga Pigeons. So, do you think you'll get him as an assistant coach next year?
Got no idea. We haven't spoken about that to him. I'm sure he's speaking to the management and to Scotty, but we'd love to have him. I think what he's brought just in the 1 day a week that he spends with us, if he was there full time, I think he'd be a great asset.
Andrew Boomer, Harvey's re-signed for another year going into his, was it 19th or 18th season? I'm not sure what it is.
20, I think. Now.
Into 20.
Yeah.
With the sub rule and the form he's in, how long can he actually play for, do you think?
Well, I think the conversation he's had with Brad in the past couple of years, he thought, well, I'll go on and I'll play as a sub, but he's still playing such good footy. He's probably in all-Australian form again this year. He's playing that well. So, yeah, definitely I reckon he can push on for at least another 1-2 years. Yeah. I'm hoping he does anyway.
Is there anything you see in him as a player that has dropped off?
No, he probably still trains just as much as anyone. He's probably out on the track more than what I am. He's just so competitive. He probably is not up there in the 2K time trials, but as soon as it comes to that football running and football training, he's the best out there.
What does Stevie J say? You don't win Brownlows in October?
No, you win them in September. So he's been fantastic. I love watching the access at North Melbourne, and congratulations to North Melbourne, the access they've given to the media, particularly Channel 7. And we've seen a new side of Boomer, I reckon. He's really opened up about his love of the game, and he's still got that passion. And if he's got the passion and the speed, he can play. He can play another couple of years for sure.
It was interesting. Boomer during the week spoke about Brad Scott, and he sort of said there's not too much wrong with Brad Scott other than perhaps he's not tough enough at times.
Quite honest, I had one criticism of Brad, and I don't even know if it's a criticism, is that he could have been a little bit harder early on. I think he was still finding his feet as a coach.
Has he become harder?
I think he is. I think
he's going to be very hard on Monday.
I'm sure he will be. I think, I think he likes to go in and be very measured. He likes to have all the answers to give us. He just doesn't like to fly off the handle. He knows what it was like when he was playing, because he wasn't long out of the game. But I can see him, over the last couple of weeks, he's starting to get grumpier. And he gave us the biggest spray we probably ever received after the Brisbane game. So I'm sure tomorrow is going to be a fun day.
It'll be top couple, I would have thought. Have you heard of Voice Jammer as an app?
I have. I've heard the boys doing it, but I wasn't there when they actually did it.
So very simply at home, it's an app you download. It doesn't really do much for society other than make you laugh, which is a good thing. But basically, you download the app, put headphones in and try and speak, and this is what happens.
When we came back from 7...
At Port Lincoln.
Probably my dad. And playing school footy. That's basically how it all came about.
So basically what happens is you hear yourself again and you can't really speak so well. So Voice Jammer at home, yeah. I'm sure it's free to download. Quick hands before we let you go. Do you think Boom will break the game's record?
Yes.
You're up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's your question down in the auto.
No, I like it. Absolutely.
No, you've got to ask the question.
That's the question to Andrew.
Mate, your injury, how's it going?
See the auto cue down there. Just go back to where it says Mickey. That one there. Your
mum's a nurse. You found out your Achilles was ruptured.
Yeah, no, she did send me a text straight after I did it saying you've ruptured your Achilles. So I said, yeah, thanks, Mum. Thanks for that.
I get this one a little bit, but is it true that your olive complexion can be attributed to various solarium visits?
No, it's my Dutch heritage.
Good call.
Well, then, European theme, is it true that you've recently been coping with insomnia by watching the Tour de France every night?
Not every night, but last couple of nights I've snuck it in, so enjoy a bit of the cycling, a bit of the scenery, and the boys mentioned I like a glass of red, so just like to see where it comes from in France.
Good luck with Brad on Monday morning.